everyone, I hope you're all well. Today is Monday the 20th of November. This is going to be a chatty one, so you might want to grab yourself a cuppa and get comfortable. Maybe even strap yourself in. Where do I begin? I do not know. Most of you will have seen the post that I put up on Thursday, just a very short video explaining why there wasn't a vlog. And yeah, that's the main thing I'm going to talk about this today, but I just want to let you know that it is about a relative suddenly passing away. So if that's going to affect anybody psychologically, if it's going to trigger anyone, you might not want to watch, and I don't mind at all. I just want to put that out there. But just last week in general was just an absolute shit show. Sorry for swearing, but it was. It was the worst week of the year by far. Basically, right, let's start from the beginning. Yes, it's a very good place to start. Monday morning, I was fine. I got up, I was feeling positive and productive because I knew I was going out to get the injection for my headache in the afternoon, so I wanted to be organised. I got Brooke off to school, that was fine. I started my vlog while I was making my slow cooker chilli. Got all that in the slow cooker and I thought, right, that's good, because I didn't know whether I would be up to cooking or not when I came in from the hospital. So I thought, right, that's dinner all sorted. I came in here, my craft room, and thought I'm going to try to get a few bits sorted for the craft fair, because the craft fair, my first ever craft fair, was on Saturday there 2 days ago. So I was trying to get stuff organised for that. We weren't sure if there was going to be more workers coming because we're still getting the house done. So the plan was my mum and dad were going to take me to the hospital and Jack was going to stay here with the dogs in case any of the workers turned up. Hades has just brought me in his tug. What is it with dogs, eh? We know when you get emotional. Good boy, you really are. So yeah, I was in my craft room, doing my thing, and I heard my mum coming in, and that way you just instinctively know something's wrong. It wasn't her usual coming in, talking to the dogs and stuff, and she basically rushed in here. And I was like, what's wrong? I could see it on her face, and she went, Aunt Mary's died. And I'm like, what? What? Because, now I've spoken about my Aunt Mary a lot on here, and that is my mum's wee sister, and wee Millie's gran, my cousin Donna's mum. Now, I have spoken about her a lot because she had kidney failure, and at one point she almost got a kidney transplant, and I mentioned that in the vlog because I had just found out when I was vlogging that she was going in for it, but it didn't happen. And then she was told that she was too ill for a transplant because she kept getting bad infections, but she kept bouncing back from them all. And we knew she wasn't going to get any better. The doctors had a conversation with her a few weeks ago and said, look, you're not going to get better, but the usual, will give you the best quality of life. She was given the option if she wanted to stop dialysis at any point, she could, that sort of thing. But the way they were talking, it was like, it's not imminent, you're going to at least have Christmas, make it a good Christmas because it could be your last, that sort of thing. So that was quite difficult to come to terms with anyway, but we just kind of got our head round that, and we thought, right, we will make it the best Christmas for her. Donna and Emma were getting stuff together, and Emma's Donna's sister, so they were getting stuff together to make it a really good one. So for my mum to come in on Monday and say that she'd passed away, it was like, it didn't compute at first, and I could tell that it hadn't really sunk into my mum either, because she was like in a panic, and she's like, and I need to get over there, but how do you get to the hospital? And I was like, look, calm down, gave her a cuddle. I said, let's start from the beginning. Aunt Mary's died, yeah. And I went, what happened? She went, I don't know the details. Donna's just phoned, she's upset. I need to get there, but what about you going to the hospital? And I'm like, forget about me going to the hospital, that's not an issue, just get yourself over there. No, and I was like, Mum, seriously, I'll get that sorted. But, so my mum went, and you know that way you're like, this just isn't the way that today was meant to go, and it's not the way that the week was meant to start. So I went and I said to Jack, and he's like, what? He was as shocked as I was. And I went, right, we're going to have to get something sorted for the hospital, because, as you know, I waited months and months for this appointment. So obviously if I had to cancel, I would, but I really didn't want to have to. And Jack said, well, it's looking like nobody's going to be coming out to do the house today anyway. Nobody had been in touch. So he went, what I'll do is I'll put the dogs in the car and I'll take you. And I was like, right, okay. And he said, but do you not need somebody in with you? And I went, I don't know. So he said, right, what we'll do is we'll phone Abby, because she was on her way to work at this point. We knew she would want to know about Aunt Mary, and we knew that when she knew, she wouldn't want to work anyway. So Jack phoned her and explained what had happened. She said to her work what had happened. So we went and picked her up at her work on the way over to the hospital, and she came in to the appointment with me. And to be honest, the appointment actually went okay. The injection, it was a greater occipital nerve block that I got, and it was an injection of a mixture of steroids and local anaesthetic, and they put it basically right there. It's still a wee bit tender actually where they put it in, and it was a nurse that did it. She explained all the ins and outs of it. She explained the risks and all the rest of it, and I was like, just do it, I need this headache gone. So she did it, and the actual injection, I mean, I was in with her for maybe 10 minutes. Clyde, no. And she said to me, look, if you just wait out in the waiting room for 15 minutes to make sure you're okay, especially because I've got a history of anaphylaxis to some medication. She says, so if you just wait there for 15 minutes, if you're okay, then you can go. And I was like, right, that's fine. So I waited out with Abby, and I was fine. So we came home, and that was fine. Strangely, one of the side effects is headache, and my head got really bad later on that night, but it actually, the pain moved to the front of my head and to the other side. But I didn't worry, because she had said, look, it might be a different type of headache, don't worry about it. And she gave me a diary to fill out every day as well. So that was that. But when I came home, you know, that way, it still hadn't really sunk in. And I thought, we're going to have to tell Brooke, and she gets upset at things like that. So I didn't want to tell her when she was at school. I thought, I'll wait till she gets home. So she had phoned me when I was at the hospital and said, can I go into town with my friends after school? And my instinct was, no, you need to get home so I can tell you this. And I went, no, not today. And she went, why not today? And I thought, you know what, there's nothing that's going to change if Brooke comes home straight after school or a couple of hours after. It can't change anything. And I went, right, it's okay, it's fine, go. So I had been messaging my mum to see how everybody was, and obviously everybody was in bits. She explained to me that, Clyde, stop it. I keep seeing the squirrels out there. No. She explained to me that thankfully my Aunt Mary had been at home and not in the hospital. She had basically just slept and didn't wake up. Donna had went in with her medication and she was a bit sleepy, so Donna said, look, I'll come back in half an hour. And a wee while later, Willie, Aunt Mary's partner, went in to see if she wanted toast, and she was gone. She was just sleeping, but not breathing. So that was a blessing, if nothing else. She was in the house. Although she didn't have anybody in the room with her, she knew everybody was there. and there was no pain, there was no nothing. She just slept away, which is great for her. It's hard for everybody else because it's hard for Willie, he found her. It's hard for Donna, she spoke to her just like half an hour before it. And yeah, but the good thing was, because she was in the house, everybody got to see her. I didn't, unfortunately. I couldn't go over because I was at the hospital, but to be honest, there was enough going on there anyway. I wouldn't have done that. I had hoped to see her again. I was going to go and see her before, like, not at Christmas, but before Christmas, so that, you know, I could not say goodbye to her, but make sure that I saw her before her, what could have been her last Christmas. But unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to do that. So yeah, everybody got to go in and see her, and my mum, Aunt Margaret, that's my mum and Aunt Mary's big sister, and Donna and Millie, and you know, we're all sitting talking to her, and it sounds like it was lovely. And my mum said it was just like, normally, because she wasn't well, they would be having a conversation and she would fall asleep mid-conversation. And my mum said it was just like that. She said it was so weird to think that it was the same but different. Wee Harry, the wee doggy, it's weird, dogs know, don't they? He just kept lying on her, he kept moving beside her. Like I said, Millie lay on the bed with her and you know, got to talk to her and things like that. So from that point of view, from that point of view, it was good. Anyway, I'd actually, the reason I got onto that was because I was talking about Brooke. I had been messaging my mum, she told me what had happened, and I said to Brooke, I said to my mum, I've not told Brooke yet, we're going to wait until she gets home. And my mum said she knows. She saw Abby's post on Facebook, and I was like, bloody social media. I was like, Abby, you knew Brooke didn't know. She went, I didn't think that she would go on Facebook. So I said to my mum, is Brooke okay? And she said, yeah, she'd been messaging quite a lot, and that's kind of what Brooke does. She won't speak face to face, but when she thinks about things, she'll message somebody, and that's how she talks. It's always a tricky one with her being autistic. You never know how she's going to handle things like this, and this is the first time she's really had to. So when she came in from town, I said to her, you know about Aunt Mary, and she went, uh-huh. I went, are you okay? And she went, uh-huh. And I had said to her, I said, look, you don't need to go to school tomorrow. Oh, sorry, the dogs had knocked over a glass of juice. So yeah, I said to her, you don't need to go to school. No, I want to go to school. I went, right, okay, because sometimes she needs to keep herself busy, and it does take her a while to actually process things. So I said, right, that's fine. And then in the morning when she got up, I said, are you sure you want to go to school? Yeah, I'm fine. Right, okay. And by this point, I think we had been told there wasn't going to be any work going on in the house until Wednesday or Thursday. So I came in here trying to get things organised for the craft fair, but my head was just not in it. I just wasn't in the zone. I didn't want to be in here. I just wanted to be out. I wanted to be looking at different things and just distracting myself. So, and it's not like me to not want to craft. So basically I said to Jack, look, can we go out? We went through to B&M. I got a little bit of retail therapy. I didn't buy much, but I just went in and picked up a couple of wee Christmas things for the girls, that sort of thing, and some chocolate, because you need chocolate at times like that. So yeah, I think it was starting to sink in then, but I wasn't really sure how to process it. I've not really had a lot of grief to process in my life as of yet. I know it's getting to that stage now that it's going to start. So anyway, we went out, and while we were out, I got a phone call from the school, and I thought, oh, here we go. And it was Brooke's guidance teacher, basically just saying that Brooke had been upset in class, and she said, I'm sorry to hear about your aunt, and I said, thank you. She said, Brooke was upset, she said, and I was, going to say to her to go to pupil support, but I got her to go to the toilet, take time out, wash her face, and by the time she came back, she was fine, and she wanted to carry on with the day as normal. I said, are you sure, because we can pick her up? And she went, nope, she's absolutely fine. She says, obviously, if anything else happens, I'll let you know. And I'm right, okay. She says, and any time for the funeral and things like that, it's not a problem. So that was Tuesday. In the back of my mind, I kept thinking, I've still got so much to do for this craft fair on Saturday, but I just can't. So I was kind of stressing myself out, but not at the same time. I thought there's no point in even trying. So Wednesday and Thursday, Brooke wanted to stay at her friend's house, and her friend's mum said that was fine. And it was good for us because we knew that the work was going to be going on, and it would be better if she wasn't here. Brooke said that she would get up early and on the Wednesday morning to have her shower and get everything packed and stuff like that, because it was a last minute decision. So anyway, Brooke got up early on the Wednesday morning as planned, and our shower wouldn't work. We've got 2 showers in the house. We've got one in the main bathroom that the girls used to use, and we've got one in our ensuite, which is like a wet room type thing for me and Jack. But we've not had proper hot water for the last 2 years because this house is just a nightmare. And so the girls have been using our shower. At this point, we still hadn't had any more work done, so we still didn't have hot water. Our shower wouldn't switch on. It was like there was a problem with the water pressure, and it just kept beeping. And I said to Brooke, right, you're going to have to just put loads of deodorant on, and I'm going to have to say to your friend's mum, is it okay if Brooke has a shower at yours, because ours isn't working. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, this week. And so my friend's mum was perfectly fine with that. She went, yeah, no bother. And so nobody came on Wednesday to do any work. And I did manage to do a wee bit more in here. And at this point we thought the funeral was going to be this week, maybe Thursday. So that was fine. On Thursday, the work started, and oh my God, it is the worst it's been from the very start. I mean, we'd had our solar panels put on, no problem. We got all the walls double insulated and everything, no problem. But on Thursday, they came to start putting the radiators on the walls and the new pump outside. Because it's an air pump, it lives outside because it draws in the air, heats it up, and that's what heats the water to heat the radiators and the hot water. So that started. The other thing that had happened on Tuesday was, I'm going to shut the door. Hopefully you won't hear them as much now. Yeah, it had been really heavy rain, and there was water coming in through the fan that they had put in, the what's the word I'm looking for? The extractor fan that they put in our bathroom. There was water dripping down through that, and I was like, oh God. So Jack had went up on the roof and seen that the tile that they put in, the way that it is, the rain should go off it, but it's like a fan type, it's got grooves in it so that the air can get out. And the way that it was sitting, the water was coming in it rather than going down it. He said, but also when that had been put in, our roof is a state. I mean, it's never been replaced since the house was built nearly 50 years ago, in fact, probably 50 years ago. So it isn't even done, but we can't afford it just now, so we're doing bits at a time. So Jack had noticed there was a few tiles cracked, so he said, right, tomorrow we'll go and get, no, it was wedding, oh, I can't remember. Anyway, he says, we'll need to go and get some tiles to replace them. I went, right, okay. So when the workers came in on Thursday, Jack said, I'm going to go and get the tiles. And I went, you're not leaving me here myself with the dogs and the workers. And he went, right, come on, we'll all go, because my dad was there. So Jack said to the guys, look, if you need anything, just go and talk to John, because he'd been coming in and out anyway, so they knew who he was. So that was fine. So we went out, we dropped Abby at her work, we went and got the tiles, and we were coming home, and my dad messaged to say if I were you, I would stay away. There's vans and pipes and pumps and radiators everywhere. And I was like, right, okay. So we went a bit of a run, basically. We went for a little run, and we stopped at a place that Jack likes to walk the dogs, and I had my wheelchair, not my fly, and I didn't have a jacket and stuff, so I wasn't going to go. I sat in the car, and Jack and the dogs went for a good walk, which was good. After that, I said to my dad, how's it looking? He went, no better, so we went for a run. And because it was like really quiet back country roads, we put the window right down for Hugo, and wait till you see this, it's brilliant. Yeah, he absolutely loved having his head out the window. It was just amazing to watch. And Hades was poking his nose out as well, and at one point him, Hades and Clyde had their nose out the window. It was just brilliant, it was so cute. So eventually we came home because we thought we can't stay out any longer, and I had to sit in the car because, like my dad had said, there was no room anywhere. And it wasn't the guy's fault, they just needed a lot of stuff and a lot of space. So we managed to park in our neighbour's space, and Jack said, right, you and the dog sit here, I'll go and see what's going on. And he came back about 10 minutes later, and he went, right, they're just finishing the radiator in the living room. I've cleared the path so that I can get you, obviously I'm in the wheelchair, into the living room, but once you're there, you'll need to stay there. It's like, right, okay. So I was in I eventually got into the living room, but the noise was unbelievable because they were working under the floor. We've got like a sort of basement type. It's not a usable basement. It's just so that you can get under. But I mean, Jack can walk about bent over, and it's a decent space. So they were under there doing things, so it was really noisy. They were up here doing things. They had the radio on because they'd said to Jack, do you mind if we put music on? Jack's like, crack on. No, do what you need to do. We don't care. Just get the work done. So they had music on quite loud, but I was actually laughing quite a lot because they were going about singing, like they were in their own house and nobody else was there. You know how they say, sing like nobody's listening or dance like nobody's watching? That's what they were doing. So I was having a wee giggle to myself. It was like being at a karaoke on a Friday night. But the noise, and oh my God. And when they left that night, and the loft insulators had appeared as well. So not only did we have that going on, we had the guys up the loft, and they said to Jack, look, this is not a one-day job. It's going to take us a good couple of days, and we're going to need all this stuff moved. And Jack was like, nobody had said anything. And Jack went, look, just leave the insulation and I'll do it. And they went, we can't, we're not allowed. And it's new stuff. It's not the old rock wool that they used to use, it's some other stuff now, and it's really, really thick. So they were coming and going as well. Jack wasn't really in the living room, he was seeing to them, so the dogs were going nuts, and I'm sitting there pulling my hair out. I couldn't watch the telly or do anything because of the noise. My head was thumping. At this point, there was no effect from the injection, and my head was thumping. I wanted to go and lie down, and I couldn't, and I was like, oh. So eventually the people doing the radiators and that left. They said, look, we'll be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And the guys doing the loft were still here because they had brought down black bags of the old insulation from up there. So they were having to get all that moved back and forward. And the easiest way to do that was through the living room over the terrace like that. So Jack managed to get me and the dogs into the bedroom, but again, it was like an obstacle course trying to get there. So at least I was lying down, they did all that, and the guys said to Jack, look, we'll come back on Sunday. If you could clear the rest of the loft, that would be great. We'll be back Sunday. And Jack was like, right, okay, no bother. So that was that. And what happened on Friday, so the shower wasn't working. We had the leak from the thing. Friday, they appeared again at 8 o'clock. By this point, there was stuff in my room again. I couldn't get in at all. But I was still planning to do the craft fair because I had been excited about it, anxious, but excited. And I'm like, no, I really want to do it. I've got my head geared up, but it was stressing me at the same time. There was something else happened in the house. What was it? Oh, the electricity kept tripping and we couldn't figure out what it was, and it was because of the fan, the water coming in. Anyway, all that was going on. Friday they came in, I couldn't get in my room, and I thought as long as I can get in tonight to get it sorted, it'll be fine. They came in and they still weren't able to finish it. They said, we're going to have to come back tomorrow morning. And I'm like, right. So Jack was night shift Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm thinking, so they're coming back first thing in the morning when I'm supposed to be getting all my stuff taken out. My dad was going to be taking me and my mum, and I can't even get into my room. And by this point I was really stressing. So Jack went, it's fine, don't worry about it, we'll sort it. Right, okay. So Jack went to work. Well, I know Jack went to work. The dogs wanted out about 1 in the morning. I went to let the dogs out and I went, what was that? There was water coming in through the smoke alarm in the kitchen. And I'm like, what next? What next? There is just nothing else that can happen. Does anybody remember the film, I'm sure it was in the 80s, The Money Pit? And basically it was people that bought their dream home to do it up, and it just kept falling to bits and kept costing them more and more and more money. That's what this house has felt like this week, because we knew when we moved here 5 years ago, it was needing bits and pieces done. We didn't know the extent of what was needing done. And we kind of thought to ourselves that once all this work was done, really the only thing to do would be the roof and everything would be great. But this week it's just felt like everything was going wrong rather than going right. So when I saw that leak, I was like, oh God, what now? And I knew they had taken away our old boiler, the oil boiler that had like a chimney thing going right up into the loft and then up out through the roof. So the workers had actually used one of the tiles that Jack had bought to replace the broken ones at our bathroom to cover that chimney. And Jack was like, look, it's fine, I would rather that was covered. It has to be covered, it's important. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, have they not covered it properly? Is that because it was tipping it down with rain? Is it the rain coming in? So I let the dogs out. I went and I messaged Jack, and he phoned me when he was on his break, and he went, I'm not coming home. He went, this place. And it was really getting to the stage that we kept saying to each other, once this is done, we're moving. That's it. We're selling up, we're moving. Because it's never ending. We wouldn't, because we love it here. But it's just that way that things get on top of you and you think, I can't handle it anymore. It's just, this house is telling us to get out. We're getting out. And Jack had said, look, I don't think it'll be from where the chimney was. It's the wrong part of the house. He said what it might be is that's where the old water tank was. So it might be when they've taken that away, some of the fittings that they've put on the pipes are just not on properly and they might be dripping. I went, right, okay. Future Fiona here, yes, that is all that was wrong. It was just a valve that needed tightening up. So that got fixed. That was the other thing that happened. Thursday, when the workers went away and said we'll be back on Friday, the toilets wouldn't flush. Or they flushed, but the cistern wasn't filling back up. So we were having to manually fill the cistern with a kettle. But they had fixed that on the Friday. It was a valve that had been turned off. So that had been fixed, but then this happened. And you know, that way I was lying in my bed at 1 o'clock on Friday morning thinking, I can't cope. I cannot cope. Everything is just too much. And I thought to myself, right, this is the universe telling you you're not meant to do this craft fair tomorrow. Hold on. Hello. That is not a security call from Visa Debit Department. That is a scam. If you get anybody phoning like that, tell them to get lost. It's a scam. Anyway, yeah, I thought, now I'm not really superstitious as such, but I do believe in things happening for a reason and the universe throwing out signs that things should or shouldn't happen. And to me, everything that had happened that week, my Aunt Mary passing away, the work causing chaos, not being able to get into my room, and then finally that week, it was just the universe's way of saying to me, you shouldn't be doing this. So I decided, I made up my mind there and then, I'm not doing the craft fair tomorrow. It's not worth it. I know I had already paid for it. It was £12.50. Really, was it worth all that work, all that hassle and stress for £12.50? So once I had made up my mind that I wasn't doing that, I actually relaxed and managed to get back to sleep. And when I got up in the morning, I messaged Jack and said, look, I'm not doing the craft fair. And he's like, oh, don't be silly. I went, no, I'm really not doing it. The next thing, all the guys appeared, so my dad helped me get the dogs into the bedroom. They came, and I thought I wouldn't have been able to get all my stuff out anyway. So Jack came in from work and was having to, help them and get stuff organised with them. The house was freezing. We hadn't had heating for 2 weeks, and I was lying in my bed with the dogs all around me, with the covers pulled up, freezing, thinking, this has to end sometime. And eventually the work was done. The electrician came, the plumbers came, it was all sorted. They showed us how to work the thermostat thing. They told us how the pump works. It's a dual system, so it heats the water before it heats the radiators, blah, blah, blah. So all that was explained to us. And we thought, right, we're going to get heat. But the guy did say it will take a while for the heat because the system has to heat a lot of water before it can start throwing the heat out to the radiators. We're like, that's fine, as long as we know. I was opened my door and there's no bathroom. By the time Jack went to work on Saturday night, we had hot water. And I was like, hallelujah, we're at least getting somewhere. And so that was good. I got up on Sunday morning to let the dogs out. There's another big puddle of water in the kitchen, and I'm like, what the hell? Now, what is it? And I realised it was coming from under the fridge. So we had a look in the fridge. Yeah, a few months ago, the filter in the fridge had cracked, so there was water leaking everywhere. And Jack got the filter replaced and it was fine, but we've had to move the fridge because of the radiators. I'll show you all that in my next proper vlog. So I don't know if it's when the fridge has been moved that something's been pulled out, because this time there wasn't any water in the fridge, it was all underneath. So I messaged Jack and I went, guess where the leak's coming from today? Well, we placed bets where it'll be from tomorrow. And he messaged back, I'm blocking your number, you just keep giving me problems. And he told me how to switch the valve off so it stopped that leaking, which I did. And so he came home yesterday, on Saturday, when the guys went away. When the guys went away, my dad helped Jack bring all the stuff down out the loft for the guys coming yesterday. So when he got in from work yesterday, he said, I'm not even going to look at the fridge today, that can wait. He said, I'm not going to go to bed. I'm just going to lie on the couch because I'm waiting for the guys coming to do the loft. I went, right, okay. And after a couple of hours, I was like, look, I don't think they're coming. Just go to your bed. So he went to his bed. Then Brooke decided she wanted to go out and needed a shower. Sorry about that. I had to help Abby with something. Right, dogs! Oh my God, this will take me about an hour to film because of the dogs. What was I saying? Yeah, Brooke decided she was going out and needed a shower. We thought our shower was fixed. It wasn't. We were like, well, we've got hot water now, so you can go in your own shower. So that was a whole load of hassle as well, trying to get her in there. But it did work. That's Jack home. I'll come back to you shortly. Right. It's a lot calmer now. Jack's in. The dogs are quiet. I can talk. I'm not quite as stressed either because I was chatting to Jack there. And one of the issues that we've had, was yesterday, everything seemed fine. Brooke needed a shower. She used their one because we got hot water again, and that was all good. Our shower's still not working. So we had been talking about getting a mixer tap, like a main shower for in there, because it's an electric one we've got just now, which are quite expensive to run. But it was going to cost a fortune. It was going to be about £600 because we would need to do the whole bathroom if we did that. So talking to Jack there, he was like, do you know what, we're just going to get another electric shower, and then once everything else is done, because once the plaster has been, we need to decorate the whole house. He says we can look at doing that maybe in a year's time, and I was like, good, because today trying to use their shower was an absolute nightmare for me. So yeah, we're going to get an electric shower in our ensuite, and that's going to be good. The other issue we had was, even though the guy left on Saturday lunchtime and they told us it would take a wee while for the radiators to heat up, by this morning we still didn't have any. We're like, is it supposed to take this long? And we had a look yesterday and we're like, the thermostat thing isn't connected to the internet. So we got the manual out and figured out how to do that. We thought that'll be it. Still wasn't on this morning. I went to Jack, you know what, I'm just going to phone the plumber, because he did leave out his number and said, look, any issues, phone me. So I've just phoned him now, and he went, I know exactly what it is, and basically the system had been told just to heat the hot water. So once the hot water was hot enough, it was just cutting off, it wasn't going on to heat the house. So that's now been changed, and we're starting to get heat in the radiators. Yay, can't wait. So now, you can see how much happier I am just from that being sorted. Now, we've still got the rest of the loft to be done because the guys didn't come yesterday, and we've still got the plastering to do. So I've just messaged the main dude that's organising it all to say, have you got any idea when they're happening? Obviously we want it done as soon as possible. The funeral is now on the 29th. It's not this week. By the time everything got sorted, there were no slots left. They're so busy just now, which is quite sad really, because in Scotland it's usually within about a week that you get a funeral, but no, it's been a couple of weeks this time. So the 29th will be the funeral, which is going to be a very sad day, but obviously we can't get any work done then. So hopefully that'll all get sorted. Now, like I said, I didn't do the craft fair on Saturday, which part of me regrets, but I couldn't have. I just couldn't. I was too stressed. I couldn't get access to the stuff, and it just wouldn't have been worth it. So I'm quite happy knowing that I've got the other craft fair that I've booked on the 2nd and 3rd of December. So I will now just be working towards that. So I need to get bits and pieces sorted, but at the moment I can move about in my room again, so I can get that done. But also I've got Christmas on my mind, and by the time it comes to the 1st, I need to have the girls' Advent gift sorted. So at some point this week I'm going to have to go through and see what I've got for them and what I still need to get. But when Jack was getting stuff down out the loft, I got him to put a lot of the Christmas stuff in here, so I can go through all that and at least get the craft room and things sorted and get organised a wee bit for Vlogmas, make sure we're ready for the little visitors, and because we're not going to be putting our tree up this year until the 3rd of December. There's just no way around it. We tried, it would need to be the weekend before, which is just too early for us. I know a lot of people are putting their stuff up just now, which is fine, but I love getting all my Christmas decorations and that out, but once I've been up a couple of weeks, I want them away. So I think it would be too long even for me, and we can't do it on the 1st or the 2nd because between Jack and Abby's work and Brooke's going away at a cadet camp from the 1st to the 3rd, and then I've got the fair the 2nd and 3rd. So what we're going to do is, after the fair on the 3rd, hopefully Brooke will be back from the camp at a decent time and we can do the tree and everything then. So that will be part of Vlogmas, which will be good. So probably my next vlog, I will try to do a proper vlog for Thursday, and it will probably be me going through all the Christmas stuff. Do you want a wee peek? Do you want a wee peek? Look. Look. Yay. I'm excited. Yeah, so that's probably, that's probably what my next vlog will be. I've got all the mugs in the kitchen ready to be washed and put out. So exciting. Anyway, I think I've told you all our news. I think I've probably bored you to death by this point. I hopefully haven't upset any of you with what I was talking about. And I just want to say that I did speak to Donna before making this video to make sure that it was okay with her that I did it, because I know a lot of you have been asking after my Aunt Mary anytime she was in hospital or when she almost got the transplant. So I wanted to let you know, plus the fact that I had basically said that a close family member had passed. I didn't want you to think that it was like my mum or dad or anything like that. But yeah, so that is where we're at, and I'll try to do a proper vlog for Thursday, hopefully for Monday, but then obviously we've got the funeral next week, so I don't know what will happen then. But just, I know a lot of you are very understanding, so if vlogs don't go up, then that will be why. I have committed to a couple of promotional videos that I need to film now and get them up, but other than that, we'll just see how I feel and take it as it comes. I know that you will completely understand, especially since you're going to have my ugly mug every day during Vlogmas, and that's probably what I'll talk about in my next vlog as well. I need to start getting my brain into gear again for Vlogmas. So anyway, I'm havering, I'm going to head off. I'm going to say I hope you enjoyed this, but you know what I mean. I don't mean I hope you enjoyed listening to me moaning and, you know, feeling sorry for myself, but you know what I mean. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button or the thumbs down, I don't care. Just please hit one of the buttons because it helps my channel. Please leave a comment. It might take me a wee while to get round to answering them all, but I definitely will at some point. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Not all my videos are like this. It's just been one hell of a week, shall we say. And hopefully this money pit is just about sorted. What a nightmare. Anyway, I'll see you in our next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.